Hi everybody, Sean Bodine here, and I gotta say I am very happy right now because my channel now has over 550 subscribers. I did say a couple of months ago that when I got 550 subscribers, I'd be doing a Q&A. Not many people took part in it as I would have liked, so I'll also be featuring questions that were asked to another Sean. But first we'll start with my questions, and we'll start here with my 12-year-old cousin, Rosie's Lifestyle. She's got 4 questions for me, and the first one is, what's your favorite sport? I gotta say, it's a little hard for me to choose right now. I would say either baseball, tennis, or golf. All 3 of those have fascinated me ever since I was a kid. And if you want to include auto racing, then I guess that would be a 4th sport to include. The other 3 questions are, what's your favorite show? I don't watch as much TV as I used to, but I will name a few shows that I really like watching. Police Squad, a great comedy which unfortunately only has 6 episodes. I guess it wasn't that popular at the time. The other 2 shows I like are called Chips, which is another classic show about police officers, and it also does include a bit of comedy like Police Squad, however, it tends to be more serious. Another classic I like is called Knight Rider, starring David Hasselhoff. Where's your dream place to travel? St. Louis, and I also wouldn't mind checking out Australia, but the reason I mentioned St. Louis is because of the Gateway Arch. You can actually go in there, believe it or not, and there's a few other places in the city I'd like to see. And finally, your favorite SpongeBob character. Congratulations on 550 subscribers. Well, thank you, cousin. As for my favorite SpongeBob character, I know this might confuse some people, but I'm gonna have to say Squidward. SpongeBob's also really cool. I think he's a really cheerful protagonist. But something about Squidward I think is also amusing, especially when the 2 of them are together in a lot of episodes. The next questions are from my good buddy in California, Stockton Suburb, otherwise known as Alec.
Oh no, the instant ramen's been released. We need to go now.
As for actual questions, out of all the characters you have voiced for people in the past, what would you say would be your favorite? I'd have to choose this freight car that appears in Tales of a Rail Yard. It's not a big role, mind you, but it is important. And I also like the fact that he's a Timken roller freight boxcar. If you ever saw the cartoon Big Tim, then you'll understand why I like this livery. Favorite Sonic X episode? It's funny you mention that because I just started rewatching the series on Tubi, which you can actually do for free. Anyways, to answer the question, I'm gonna have to go with episode 11. I don't remember the name of it, but I do know that it was Rouge's first major episode. I mean, she does appear in episode 1, but it's just a minor cameo with no speaking roles. Here, it's different. And it's really cool to see how she teams up with Topaz. Favorite railroad movie? Like those from Greg Scholl Video Productions, Pentrex, etc. Well, since you mentioned Greg Scholl, I will say that the America by Rail series is really cool. I have all 4 of them on DVD, and every time I watch them, it's always a delight. But, just for the hell of it, I'm also going to include a Hollywood production and mention Emperor of the North. I also like Runaway Train, and I know Alec likes that too, so I'm sure I'll be pleased to know that. Favorite GE locomotive? Well, there's a lot I really like, especially from today. But the classic ones from the 20th century that I also like are the Dash 8s for Amtrak, the P32 variants, and the older Dash 7s and locomotives from the Universal series, also known as U-boats. And as Storm from the Sonic Fandubs once said,
It's my enemy stand!
I also got a few questions on DeviantArt, and we'll start here with Slick Video Productions. What else do you like aside from trains and rail fanning? I've been having a lot of fun playing Call of Duty recently, the old ones, and I also have an interest in cars, boats, and of course my 2 dogs. How can you not love adorable puppies like that? 99F5 is a good friend of mine that I've known on DeviantArt for a couple of years, but I'm gonna assume he has special needs, because he basically asked me the same question 3 times. So, how did you ever get into making train sprites? When did you ever get into the habit of doing art of train sprites? Since when did you start on making art sprites on trains on your art station on DeviantArt? Well, it all started 9 years ago with a guy named CJ the Creator. And I saw that a lot of his sprites were free to use, so I basically just started there by placing a lot of his sprites on trackage. And of course, I should also mention that the tracks were created by him too. And basically, just creating my own scenes, doing whatever I wanted with the engines. Then, evidently, I started creating a few of my own engines, like from Frosty the Snowman, and I guess also a few original characters that I had. Like, imagine if they were on or in the 1991 cartoon, The Little Engine That Could. Because the fact that there are only 6 engines in that cartoon, I guess it would be cool if it was on a small railroad, but I imagined, what if it was bigger? And then obviously you're going to need more engines. That, however, I got inspiration from a few other people that had, I don't know if they're original characters, but I've noticed a few different engines that were created for the 1991 universe of The Little Engine That Could. What got you interested into the hobby to begin with? I will gladly show you. I actually already answered this question once in my 225 subscriber Q&A special, but I've enjoyed this video ever since I was 3 years old. And it's basically what inspired me to be a videographer, because there's a lot of great footage in this video from Emery Goulash and a few other videographers. And it's also what led me to join this company. Ever since 2020, I've been making my own videos for Green Frog, and it's all because of this tape, and I gotta say, I am really happy to be part of their crew. That's all of my questions, so now it's time to hear some questions for the other Sean. So, I gotta ask, have you ever got a chance to meet up with Susan the Steam Train? Never heard of her. If she's willing to cross a 12-mile bridge over the Pacific Ocean, I'd be glad to see her. Can you take my freight train of 14 cars, please? I generally don't pull freight. What the hell. I'll give it a shot. Do you want more diesel fuel? It's because you took my train. This is me saying thank you. Well, in that case, I wouldn't want to be rude and decline. I'll take it.
What do you think of the crazy 3421 incident?
Crazy is a good word to describe it. What are you doing? A Q&A for my fans. You have fans?
And it's easy to see why y'all don't.
In terms of paint scheme accuracy, how well did I do with KSRR 1877? I'll admit I don't know much about CNDI engines, but you know what? I think it looks great. Alright, where do I ask a question? Can I do it here? Or do I need to go somewhere else to ask that? Too late, you already asked your question. Just kidding, buddy. Go ahead and ask me anything. Alright then. So, Sean, what do you think of this monstrous abomination here at 455? This thing is called a carry-on boy from the game Iron Meat. an infected ER2 Russian engine which has been used as a shell by a parasitic superorganism of flesh from space. It makes me scared if that meat was to infect a living engine. Whoever put that in the game has a pretty creative mind. Hey Sean, do you want a fox? I hope you don't get upset, but this time I'm gonna have to say no.